Hello, it's Susan Duclos with All News Pipeline. It's April 10th, 2017, and what we're looking at is a picture right here of Seth Rich. Seth Rich was a DNC, Democratic National Committee data director, and he was murdered in July 2016. He was 27 years old and was beaten and shot in the back as he was walking home, but nothing was taken from him, negating the theory that it was a robbery attempt. Now, in what this is about is the fact that on April 8th, WikiLeaks put out a tweet that once again brings Seth Rich back into the spotlight. But let's do some quick background here, okay? On August 9th, 2016, WikiLeaks publicly offered a reward for information on Rich's murder. They tweeted, and you can see the tweet here, WikiLeaks offers $20K reward for information in the murder of DNC staffer Seth Rich, and they linked to a NBC Washington article about the reward offer. Well, also on August 9, 2016, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange was interviewed, and in that interview, he said something which set the internet on fire. He was speaking about whistleblowers, and he said whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risk. And immediately, in the same sentence, he brought up Seth Rich. There's a 27-year-old who works for the DNC who was shot in the back, murdered just a few weeks ago for unknown reasons, and he was walking down the street in Washington. The interviewer said that was just a robbery, I believe, wasn't it? Assange says, no, there's no finding. Interviewer says, what are you suggesting? Assange says, I'm suggesting our sources take risks and they become concerned to see things occurring like that. Interviewer says, and was he one of your sources? And Assange says, we don't comment on who our sources are. So even the interviewer caught the fact that he immediately associated whistleblowers and their risks with Seth Rich dying. So it's a natural, logical conclusion that he was talking about Rich. That's why the interviewer highlighted that. But Assange never outright said, yes, Seth Rich was our source. But again, that was it was something that was highly suggestive, we'll say. There's more to that, and in the article associated with this, which will be linked in the details, the video of Assange having that exact conversation with the interviewer is there, so you might want to listen to that so you can see he said exactly what we quoted him as saying. Now, one last piece of background before we get into the more recent WikiLeaks tweet is the Podesta emails, which Seth Rich's death occurred in the midst of that scandal where WikiLeaks was publishing DNC emails, which cost Debbie Wasserman Schultz and a few others their jobs at the DNC. And in those emails, there was an email chain. Robbie Mook, I believe that was Clinton's chief strategist, and no, that was Joel Benson. Robbie Mook was her campaign manager, and Podesta was her campaign chairman. The three of them were talking about a Washington Post article where somebody had leaked something about Hillary's upcoming campaign, and they were talking about making an example of the suspected leaker. Now, we're not suggesting they were talking death or anything like that, but it does show the mindset of just a leak in the newspaper before the official launch, where they're talking about going beyond internal discipline. Let me show you that email chain real quick. Here we are at the Podesta, WikiLeaks Podesta emails, and you will see they were having a conversation about it. And this one was from Podesta, where he was saying, I'm definitely for making an example of a suspected leaker, whether or not we have any real basis for it. And they continue to talk about making examples and how it should go beyond Here we go. Uh, it should go beyond internal discipline. So you can see the mindset of their campaign staffers even beforehand. And as you can see, this was the WikiLeaks, and it was verified. Okay, let's go back to the story. I do put a note in the article that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not speculating here. I'm just pointing out the facts, and that's that Rich's death was followed by a Clinton researcher and author of, I believe it was an anti-Clinton book, Victor Thorne, on 8/1. It was ruled as a suicide from self-inflicted gunshot wound. And following that, the next day, Sean Lucas, whose video went viral of him serving the former DNC chairman Debbie Wasserman Schultz with a lawsuit in early July 2016, which charged that the DNC had committed fraud in favoring Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders. So that was 3 deaths, boom, 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 all connected with the DNC. Make of it what you will. I'm just saying it's a heck of a coincidence. And hey, coincidences do happen. So now, the more recent one, and this is very interesting. On April 8th, WikiLeaks highlighted a web page which supposedly contained a series of DMs, which are direct messages on Twitter, from a former Playboy model and actress, Robin Young, and Guccifer 2.0. Now, Young states on her website that she'd been following Guccifer 2.0, and previously he's claimed that he provided the leaked emails to WikiLeaks. Now, she had been following him on Twitter and considered him to be a hero and a friend, according to a Zero Hedge article on this, which that's linked also. There's the WikiLeaks email. It was April 8th, 2017, and it says direct messages from U.S. alleged Russian spy Guccifer to actress model Robin Young, according to the latter. And it gives a web page. Now, notice they don't mention Seth Rich there. But we've already shown they had a prior interest in Seth Rich, even putting up $20,000 as a reward for information to his death. Now, interestingly enough, the majority, I'd say 90% of that private conversation, and there is a link to that there so you can read it all, was heavy flirting between Guccifer and this actress model, Young. But within those, on August 25th, 2016, he specifically mentioned that he had a whistleblower at the DNC, and he stated his name is Seth. He was my whistleblower. He further went on to state, I'm eager to find fact about Seth. I'm sure it wasn't just a robbery, and he followed that up with, I'd be grateful to you if there's any chance you can help me find the person who can find the evidence that Seth was assassinated. Now, I don't know if this is really Guccifer. If she's been following him for a while, then it's a good chance that it is his account. Of course, Twitter's not going to verify a known hacker. But again, I bring up the point. WikiLeaks didn't mention Seth Rich's name here. But why else, in the midst of a bunch of NSA and CIA and all these leaks, out of nowhere, they're highlighting her conversation, and the only thing in that conversation that has anything to do with anything that WikiLeaks has ever spotlighted was the name Seth. So we're thinking that WikiLeaks is once again implying or highlighting the fact that Seth was a whistleblower. So, to the bottom line here, I made a couple points that WikiLeaks did not specifically mention him, as I pointed out earlier, and when they provided a link to Young's uploaded DM private chats, but nothing else in the private chats indicate anything WikiLeaks has previously spoken about at length. Another point, as is the tweet, did come amidst an overwhelming amount of unrelated tweets. Now, Guccifer 2.0 had previously claimed on multiple occasions that he was the one that actively hacked the DNC, but that was discredited by others, and on April 8th, WikiLeaks even highlighted a website that totally discredits Guccifer as having been the source of the leaks or the hacker. And WikiLeaks has also previously made it very clear that the emails that they got, which they released, the Podesta and the DNC, they have distinctively said they were not hacked. They were leaked. And that's an important distinction there, because if they were hacked, it could have come from Guccifer or somebody else, but leaked means it's somebody on the inside who had the information. And being a data specialist for the DNC, Seth Rich had that access. So it seems to me that WikiLeaks is once again trying to reveal that Seth Rich was the originating source behind the leaked DNC Podesta emails, while still maintaining their public policy, which he stated in the video, in the article here, that says we don't comment on who our sources are. To date, there is a combined $150,000 in rewards being offered for information relating to the death of Seth Rich. $20,000 from WikiLeaks, $25,000, which is a customary offer from the Metropolitan Police Department, and a $105,000 reward is being offered by Republican lobbyist Jack Berkman. Again, all links to everything that I've spoken about is in this article, and the article will be linked in the details. You will also see a Patreon link. These days, YouTube is demonetizing left and right. I have been doing multiple, putting multiple ones in for review because they demonetize. It's not advertiser friendly. Half of them they give me back. Oh yeah, we're going to go ahead and monetize it again. It is advertiser friendly. And half of them they just say no and then tell you you can't appeal. So if you'd like to become a patron, whether it's $1, $5, whatever, it's a monthly thing. The link will be in the details also. So you all have a good day, and follow the links. Check all this out. See if you see anything that I missed, and leave some comments in the comment section letting me know if you have.